Aloha! My name is Darren Lerner, and I am the director of the University of Hawaiʻi Sea Grant College Program, otherwise known as Hawaiʻi Sea Grant. Hawaiʻi Sea Grant supports an innovative program of research, education, and extension services directed toward the improved understanding and stewardship of coastal and marine resources of the state, region, and nation. This is Hawaiʻi Sea Grant Podcast number 12, Erosion, Commotion.
Aloha, my name is Rachel, and I'm a communications specialist at Hawaiʻi Sea Grant. Welcome to our 321 podcast. This podcast features research supported by Hawaiʻi Sea Grant. Each episode highlights a new project and the people that make that project possible. I'll ask these researchers to define 3 words commonly used in their research, give them 2 minutes to explain how their research benefits communities here in Hawaii, and end by asking them to provide one thing they know about each other than their research. So, 3 words, 2 minutes, and 1 thing. It's a 3-2-1 podcast. We're learning about coastal erosion in this podcast, and here to share their research are Chip Fletcher and his graduate fellow, Anna Mikkelson. Let's start by introducing yourselves.
Hi, my name is Chip Fletcher, and I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the School of Ocean and Earth Science and Technology, and a professor in the Department of Earth Sciences at the University of Hawaii at Manoa.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm a graduate fellow in the Department of Earth Sciences.
So 3 words you used a lot in your research are erosion, sea level rise, and beach processes. Can you explain what these words mean?
Sure. So erosion is when sand is removed or eroded from a beach due to wind or waves. We also see erosion when shoreline properties puts up seawalls. This causes the adjacent beaches or the neighboring beaches to erode, causing them to put up seawalls and creating this positive feedback loop.
Eventually, an entire shoreline can have one seawall after another go up over the course of several years, and before you know it, the whole beach is gone.
And it's a major problem today because normally the beach will move landward in response to erosion, but today directly behind beaches is often development or infrastructure, so the beach really doesn't have anywhere to go unless we make space for it.
Sea level rise is a result of climate change and global warming, melting the world's ice sheets and glaciers, as well as expanding the ocean as it absorbs heat from the atmosphere. Higher sea level causes beaches and shorelines in general to retreat landward. Imagine you're a beach. The ocean is rising. You have one option to stay alive. You have to migrate landward. And if someone builds a wall, you're squeezed between a rising ocean and an immovable shoreline, you drown. So one of the ways that beaches drown, so to speak, is that they erode. Sand is taken away and they disappear.
All right, and so how does beach processes come into this?
So beach processes is the different processes of which sand can move on the beach. So there's erosion, as we just talked about. You can also have accretion, which is when sand is moved onto the beach and the sand grows, or the beach grows. There's also alongshore processes, which we actually see quite a bit at Waikiki, where sand is moved from one end of the beach to another by alongshore currents.
So between erosion and accretion and longshore sand motion, you have a sort of a basket of beach processes which are part of the natural day-to-day and season-to-season responses of the beach to tides and winds and waves that occur over time. So sand is behaving in a very complex, 3-dimensional way, which changes over time.
That's so much more complicated than I ever imagined for a beach, which you usually just think of as just a bunch of sand.
It is a bunch of sand, but at the same time, it's also alive.
So tell me in 2 minutes or less how your research benefits the communities here in Hawaii.
With this project, by flying the drone every week, we can get a fairly high resolution data set that we can compare to the wave and wind events, and we can also get long-term migration rates or erosion rates of the beach. And so this data set, as well as the measurement of where the low water mark is on the beach and how that moves, is made available to state and federal agencies. So if they want to use it for management actions, or for example to determine when a renourishment project at Waikiki should occur, they can use these data.
Everybody who lives in Hawaii knows that beaches are an important part of our quality of life. Beaches are a major reason why tourists come to Hawaii, and tourism is a critical element in our state economy. We can't just ignore these beaches, though. They need to be managed because we build along them, we put roads next to them, and with climate change, the ocean is rising. And so better management policies can come from careful science that improves our understanding of how beaches change through time.
Well, that's a wrap, but before we go, we want to ask you, what's one thing, Chip, that you know about Anna other than her research?
You know, I can't give you just one thing because Anna is marvelous in so many different ways. She's a former captain of the cross-country team at the University of Hawaii at Hilo. She is a technical deep scuba diver who helps out with researchers that look at the mesophotic zone. Wow. She is a marvelous person, an academic superstar, and just an awful lot of fun to work with.
A paragon. All right. Well, Anna, what's one thing you know about Chip other than his research?
So I know Chip has 3 kids and 2 grandkids. They all live together in a 3-generational household. Chip also really likes his job, and he loves to keep us updated on new articles or new science at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's amazing to wake up to.
So he's basically a science nerd, is what you're telling us. Okay. Well, stay tuned for our next podcast, and mahalo for listening. Aloha.
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 This Hawaii Sea Grant 321 podcast featured 3 songs: Happiness by bensound.com, Ukulele by bensound.com, and Cute by bensound.com. Find them on iTunes and bensound.com.